Happy Sunday, Hail Stalkers! Here the day after St. Patrick's Day. If you're nursing a hangover, I'm glad for you guys to join us for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast. Before we get into really all the meat and potatoes for today's potential risk, I do have to address yesterday's elephant in the room. Yes, we did forecast some pretty big hail and things didn't pan out. That's the weather for you guys. Unfortunately, we don't bust really bad like that too often, but every once in a while it does occur. So I'm sorry to disappoint that a lot of you guys got disappointed yesterday. But you can watch our videos here on our app. You can watch us do a forecast video. Hopefully do some continuing coverage. Hit that lightning bolt in the lower right hand corner of your screen. Brings up the video. You can watch it while you're continue doing other work. Or if you want to watch it in full screen, go to landscape mode and you can view that in full screen. Also, make sure you have those notifications set up. And just a note on notifications, I know a ton of you guys were messaging us yesterday. Our notifications do not include the storm reports from the National Weather Service. So that is basically any sort of, most reports that come in saying there's a golf ball report in some rural place somewhere. We don't push those out. Those are all automated through other services. I recommend the app iDamage if you guys want to get just those hail reports in. We do our reports saying that we're mapping, saying that we have new maps available, and our own reports for golf ball size hail or larger that we create here and send out. So it only does 10,000 population centers of 10,000 or more with golf ball size hail or larger. I know a lot of you guys who are previous customers, you know all this and whatnot, but I know a lot of new people are here and they're wondering why we weren't sending a ton of alerts. Basically, we try to do quality over quantity. We don't want to bombard you with a bunch of cruddy reports in the middle of nowhere, Texas. We want to give you guys just the reports that are going through places that you may actually care about, like in population centers where there's actually some people at. And when we do send the push alerts for we're mapping in such and such place, you go on that link, it'll bring you to the map and you can watch us map the storm live. So you can watch the map happening. So if you do care about more rural areas, that's how you can see those reports. Now with that out of the way, we can go ahead, go to notification options. This is going to be on your desktop computer. It is not able to be set up on the app just yet. Go to select your regions, so you can do all states, internationally, you can do different cities, whatever you wish to be notified for. And then you set up how you want to be notified through the push notifications, through email, or through desktop notifications. And again, that's all the stuff I just previously mentioned before. And one final little note here. I know some of you guys were a little miffed about yesterday. Next time you complain about us being wrong, remember your bracket for predicting the future is pretty hard. I know a lot of you guys had Virginia not losing in that first game. So I think yesterday was the equivalent of a 16 seed being a number 1 seed. So this is what happens. And with that, we then bring up the forecast for today. It's a pretty wide area. And yet again, yeah, you see that little purple swath here over the Dallas region. This time on the north side instead of the south side. And we'll be going into that. I'm going to get a little deeper into this in just a minute. First things I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start pretty much north to southeast. And first up, this area here, the little comma head in the Oklahoma Panhandle into Kansas, most of central Oklahoma. This threat is going to be well tonight. This is going to be after about 9 o'clock tonight. And that's going to be the earliest and far sections of the Panhandle of Oklahoma. These storms are going to form in the overnight hours. I have 5% for Oklahoma City, mainly because I'm not sure if storms are going to form right by the city or if they're going to form out in this general region here. 5% continued for Tulsa as well. I think a lot of this is going to be more thunder and lightning and heavy rain, smaller hail, but there's that chance there's a couple stronger updrafts, stronger storms mixed in with all the stuff that forms later on tonight. And I could see, some hail upwards of maybe ping pong ball size if we get a really strong storm, but more likely quarter, $50, the pocket change variety type storms. And then it extends further up into Wichita. This is going to be well overnight as well. Further to the east, if I just move out of the way here, I keep forgetting that the computer's in the corner there, but overall, 2% chance. This goes all the way down to the coast by Jacksonville. 2% chance Birmingham, Pensacola, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Jackson, Little Rock. All these places, I think there's instability in the air today, and a couple storms here and there may form and have quarter to golf ball ranges of hail. But just the fact that it's such a broad area and the isolated nature of the storms that we're going to be seeing today, and that's section is going to probably keep chances pretty low because there's a lot more trees than there are people in a lot of these areas, so that's why we're keeping the chances about 2%, but we'll be watching that, of course, through the day. And finally, the thing I'm sure all your eyes were drawn to immediately when I did this forecast was here in the Dallas area. Now I'm going to move forward, and I have a much bigger map for this specifically, mainly because this is kind of a bigger deal compared to everything else. And we're looking at storms again today. This one, obviously, the chances are much lower. I woke up this morning and was kind of surprised myself seeing the forecast potential for today. And we're saying about 20% chances, the best chance. And this is, again, one of those situations, 1 or 2 storms may go up. Yesterday, there was a couple storms that did go up that were well south of even Waco, ended up dropping up to 3-inch hail. So I wasn't wrong about the baseball part, I just was really wrong about where it ended up being. I'm still thinking today the storms had that potential, baseball even upwards of 3-inch plus size hail, if they can really get going. The big question, of course, is going to be where they go, and this time if they even form. So it seems that the models have been kind of disagreeing a little bit this morning. The general agreement really has just been the basic area. If the storms do form, it would be somewhere between the Red River and down into the Dallas Metroplex. And past few runs, I'll show you guys, had one storm going right down like I-20. Just as an example, I think Denton has a better chance. You're a little further north where I think storms are going to probably form. We have a boundary layer that is just kind of draped over the Metroplex. So things are in place, except for the fact that it's cloudy and in the 60s, that there could be some storms later on this afternoon after about 3-4 o'clock this evening. And again, so 20% Denton, 15% across the majority of the Metroplex, 10% down to Corsicana. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything down by Waco today or up by Ardmore. It's really, I've kind of narrowed it down to a pretty small area here, generally speaking, of storms, and we're kind of going to just have to see how this plays out. Well, obviously, I'll be here all day, and if storms do end up forming and then heading towards the Dallas Metroplex, we'll be here live and doing continuing coverage. So chances are, can we do it? Can we get that storm? Mother Nature is giving us a second chance on the same weekend here, so maybe we can get something out of that. And also, we have a chance storms might make it down to Shreveport. One of the models even had one storm hit Dallas, make it all the way to Jackson, Mississippi. That was only one run, but it was just kind of a crazy looking thing here. The general theme of this is 60% of the time, these forecasts work every time. So with that, I'm going to jump into the models and just kind of show you guys what we're looking at for today here before I move forward and talk about Monday. And let's see, let me just pop on screen display, and we're going to look at the forecast. Nope, that's our Facebook page. And so this is the most recent model run of the high resolution rapid refresh model. This updates every single hour. It's pretty good at seeing stuff for the short term and small scale, like what we're looking at here for today. Yesterday it did fairly good once it kind of picked up on the precipitation ahead of time. Right now there is some storminess, some showers and everything off to the west of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex right now. And this particular run has the storm, so it has all the rain kind of pivoting up, and you get some rain here in Oklahoma City. And watch down here, these little areas, there's a storm, a couple storms, and it has it moving right through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex about this evening. Now obviously this raises quite a few eyebrows. The conditions are very favorable. There's some boundaries in place that can really kind of overcome certain aspects of the environment that would really minimize storms, and has those move through. Now I'm going to actually go through and I'm going to show you guys a couple different runs to show why we have a lot more uncertainty this time around, other than the fact that I don't want to be fooled once, shame on me, fool me twice. Yeah. Well, shame on me again, I guess. But I'm not going to get fooled by what looks to be a knockout run twice, 2 days in a row here. And you see the 14Z, so an hour ago, the run previous to wanted to show you, shows storms going through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But then I stream it back to a couple runs, and we see absolutely nothing happens in that Metroplex. So it's really going to be an all or nothing type situation. I think if storms do form and nothing shows up, no weird rain to kind of like wash out the environment in the next couple hours or anything like that, and we see storms actually form, just to the west of the Dallas area, I think they will move through the Dallas area. And they'll probably have some pretty big hail with them as well, and that's why they have that chance there, the 15 to 20% chance, especially north of I-20. I think that's where we're looking for today after about 3 o'clock. Now, if 20 minutes from now storms go up and a whole sky goes up, kind of like yesterday did, then that risk goes down to 0. But that's just what we're looking at. That's the case of the weather sometimes. Mother Nature has her own thoughts on what to do sometimes. So that's what we're looking at for today. We actually have, and right now we have another model run that's on its way coming in, and I'm going to look at it right now. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so this is the most update. I didn't look at this yet. So this came in whilst my video was ongoing, and this one has some big storms move through. And this is kind of latching on with the models overnight, and why the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, was kind of going in hard with the hail threat, was because it showed stuff like this almost all night. And then, of course, this morning when I got up here and started really looking at the meat and potatoes of the risk today, it got all wonky and uncertain. So just keep that in mind. We have a chance today. I know I might have ruined some trust yesterday, but I think that chance is still there. I think Dallas can still squeeze one out today and possibly get a decent storm going on later this evening. Again, we'll be here all day, and we'll obviously stream live if anything goes on. I know Derek's getting out of church, and Frank is available. He's going to be the one on call mapping. And again, I'm here. I'm not going back home or anything for the remainder of the day. I'll be here all day and into this evening if I have to. I already got a bunch of energy drinks, so I'm ready to roll. And that's what we're looking at for the remainder of today. I think the main story will be if storms can form, move through Dallas. That'll be the big story of the day. And I know you guys, you want to see a big storm, and maybe we can even see Derek wear his 5-star pants. If we do get a 5-star map, I'm going to make him get on the video tomorrow so we can see him with no legs here on the green screen. So, all right. Okay. All right, I'm going to look at a couple comments here. I know you guys are commenting in the comment section below. Before I move forward to tomorrow, which is its own can of worms. So let's see here. Anybody got blah? I'm so Leon. Fuck, I think Hail Trace is jinxing us. I feel like that sometimes too. Sometimes I feel like I do my video and then Mother Nature goes nah. Okay. Tennessee Hal Horse. Yes, Tennessee. Oh yeah. I forgot to put that in the video today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm focusing too much on forecasting. We did make a 3-star map yesterday in Tennessee. You can check that out on hailtrace.com. If somebody from Hail Trace is watching right now, if you put a link in the description below, I'll pin that so you guys can see it up ahead. Come on, John. Make hail great again. All right. Not mad at all. Something Willie. Thank you, Coleman. Keep it great work. I did say south of Dallas, so I was correct on that one. We'll take in Central today. Birmingham tomorrow. Okay. And with somebody asking about Birmingham, it is a good time for me to transition into what we're expecting for the remainder of this upcoming week. And again, if you guys are coming in, if you're jumping in a little bit late here, this is what we have specifically for the Dallas area today. This is going to be after about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's going to be either storms happen or they don't type situation. If they do happen, they will be pretty potent. There's a lot of instability there in the atmosphere, so I'm keeping that as a up to baseball size, possibly even larger than that if storms really get going, possible. And so this is what we're looking ahead for tomorrow. I'm going to move out of the way for you guys to see. This is our preliminary map. I know a lot of you guys, if you've watched us quite for a while now, I tend to do this the day before I get a map of my basic color scheme and where I think things are going to go out. And then I put the percentages in the next day and really kind of refine the forecast. Right now, the way things are looking pretty potent. I mean, if you guys are in Alabama, if you guys are watching from Alabama, the meteorologist James Spann, he's pretty highly regarded in the weather community, and he's even saying tomorrow's looking volatile. So that's leading me to even go, okay, yeah, I think tomorrow looks like one of those days, a potential more classic, as you'd say, Dixie Alley outbreak type situation. A lot of instability in the air. It looks like there's going to be a decent cap in place. And for those of you who don't know, a cap is basically something in the atmosphere, like a temperature inversion or something where it gets warmer instead of cooler when you get up. It stops updrafts from going up. There's going to be an actual cap in the air in the southeast. That's very rare. Usually storms just kind of all go up because of the proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. So there's going to be a cap in place, so it's going to make it so isolated storms form. There's going to be a lot of shear in the atmosphere, a lot of rotating winds as you go upwards in the atmosphere. So all that means probably some tornadic supercells in Tennessee and Alabama. And with the tornadic supercells, I can see upwards of baseball size hail. Right now I say up to tennis ball size hail possible at the moment. A lot's going to come down to tomorrow morning. If there's a lot of precipitation, if things kind of get washed out in the morning, then obviously this whole forecast kind of goes out the window a little bit. The biggest question mark I have right now is pretty much from the Alabama-Tennessee border points north. Nashville, your big question is, is the moisture and everything going to make it far enough north for you guys? A couple of the models are saying the moisture makes up to Kentucky border, and there's big time storms that make it all the way through the Nashville area, and obviously that would be a huge deal. A lot of storms, a big wide area of storms possible. But other models are keeping it kind of further south at the Alabama border, where areas like Huntsville would be at risk for some major storms. But Nashville would probably be pretty chilly and not really much in the way of storms tomorrow. So we're watching that very carefully. Again, we will have that forecast tomorrow. I think storms are going to begin pretty early too. So chances are that our forecast video won't be at noon tomorrow. It might be hastily thrown together and happening in the morning if storms are ongoing. I think storms will probably fire at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Oops, sorry, I stepped on my wire there. So I think places over in Memphis and parts of Mississippi, I could see storms forming pretty early and getting going, and we could see storms all day long and into the overnight hours. I think Georgia especially, you guys are not going to really see anything till probably after dark tomorrow evening. The Atlanta area, big question is, I know a lot of you guys who live in this area know about the cold air wedge that tends to happen because of the Appalachian Mountains. Biggest question is going to be, how far is that wedge going to push? It's going to push through Atlanta and leave most of northern Georgia out of the risk, or is it going to actually make it all the way to just South Carolina, Georgia border, and that puts Atlanta in play? Right now, I'm kind of splitting the difference, and I have the line going right through them, and we'll see how that happens tomorrow morning. That's really going to come down to morning surface observations. Is it chilly? Is it stable in that area when I wake up in the morning? If it is, I think Atlanta won't be at play. If it is not, and it's moist, and there is some instability, then yeah, Atlanta has a shot, and it would be at night too. So that's just in terms of the general population and tornado threat. That's always dangerous. You know, we don't want to see big tornadoes after dark. That's how people usually end up getting killed more so than the ones during the day. So again, that is what we're looking at for that, and I'll actually show you guys a couple models here just of what we're looking at for this risk for tomorrow, and I'll answer any questions you may have in the comment section below in just a moment when I pick up my phone again and I can see the comments. Hopefully one day we can make it so I can see the comments streaming on this TV in front of me that I'm looking at, but not for the time being anyway. So let's see here. Let me just pop up on the screen display again, and I'll bring up the models. Getting past, hang on, let me just look on here real quick. Okay, we're getting past the HRRR. I'm going to go into the Ohio Valley. I'm going to bring up this particular model. This one has a pretty good look at what we're looking at here. So I'm going to skip ahead. Obviously, we're going to skip ahead through today, and then storms, fire, and you can see showers and storms happening. There we go. About during the day. This is tomorrow. So this one has some storms moving through in the morning, and then big time storms down here. This is so let's see, got a couple. So let me move through here. Got some showers early, some storm. These storms will be probably pretty potent here in the early afternoon. You see all these little black lines. That's indicating helicity or rotation in the storm, and with the more rotation in the storm, you can get bigger hail and also tornadoes. And you see here, this is that right at about 6 o'clock Central Time, we see a bunch of supercells forming and then moving through Alabama. Oh man, I haven't seen this yet. Moving through, and oh boy, okay. Yeah, so you see, I call it a loaded gun setup. There's a lot of instability in the air, and I could see a lot of potential storms across, especially the northern half of Alabama and into Tennessee tomorrow. And then again, the big question into the overnight hours, you see here, this is at 4Z, which is, let's see, Eastern time. It's going to be about 10, 11 o'clock. And this is just south of the Atlanta area. So again, quite a bit of storminess possible tomorrow. This could be a pretty big all hands on deck type day here at Hail Trace. Well, obviously, we'll be doing the live continuing coverage if need be, and I'll be on the mapping. We'll all be here because it'll be a Monday. So you guys can obviously call in with any comments, questions, or concerns you may have about that. And I'm going to bring up one other model here just to see what this one is showing for the day on Monday. Okay. So this one is a little interesting where it has a storm. This is early in the morning moving through the Memphis area and making it all the way up to just south of Nashville in mid-afternoon. This also has storms forming in the warm sector, as we call it, without the dry line or anything in Georgia, and then a whole bunch of storms going up during the day and into the evening hours. And then this one has storms moving through Atlanta at around almost midnight. So again, a lot to look at here, a lot to talk about. I think we could see some big time storms in the area. If you guys watched us do our little predictions for the first 5-star of the year, if today doesn't pan out, my prediction for the first 5-star of the year was Nashville, so I'm kind of rooting for this this moisture to make it up to the Kentucky border so I can win our little contest. Frank had Birmingham, Alabama, which is also an equally good shot, seeing some big time hail tomorrow. And Matt had Atlanta, which, you know, kind of right now I'm saying it's kind of a Hail Mary pass for tomorrow, but it is possible. But then again, if Dallas gets a 5-star today, then Brandon wins. He was suggesting Austin, Texas was going to be the first 5-star of the day. And with that, I will answer any questions any of you guys have. We'll bring back up the preliminary forecast that we have for tomorrow. I can go back and show you guys the forecast for today if you want me to. And I'll answer any questions you guys have here. So let's see, Atlanta at risk. I think I answered that question. Don't worry, man, you can't read the future. Alabama, Florida coast. Yes, there are some storms possible down this way. This will be during the day tomorrow. This continues all the way over to Jacksonville, Florida. I'll make sure when I do my forecast tomorrow that I gotta factor in that my computer screen covers up part of the green screen, so you guys always miss out stuff in the lower right hand corner. But that looks like things that go possible here. Okay. But if you can't read the future, email me at this. Nashville is getting baseballs. I feel it. Yeah, Jeremy. I kind of hope Nashville hasn't really been hit since 2012. I want to say. I can't confirm that, but I know they were hit pretty good on March 2nd, 2012, and I think they've just been kind of riding off of that storm since. So I have a feeling things will happen. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, I think there will be a couple more chances for the Tennessee Valley in the coming weeks here. I'll try not to Frank up the wrist today. Okay, Frank. Yeah. Well, that's an in-joke at the office. Where's it going? Does Birmingham or Nashville have the better shopper 5-star tomorrow? Any chance for Austin? Austin, Texas, I don't think we'll see anything today. Way too far south for the risk for today. Land baby, let's go. Knoxville. Knoxville, I don't think you guys will see. I think you're too far into the Appalachians to see a good risk tomorrow, too far to the east. All indications have shown the system has been slowing down a little bit, which in terms of wanting the big time storms and the tornado threat, that actually jumps that up quite a bit just because of meteorological things lining up better. Jackson, Mississippi today/tonight. Jackson, Mississippi, you could see a pop-up storm or two this afternoon into this evening. Tomorrow, if they do get storms, it would be in the morning. So you may wake up to some storms. But I think you guys might be too far to the west for the main risk tomorrow. Okay, any chance for Austin? Atlanta, yeah, I know a lot of you guys want Atlanta to get hit, and I'm not saying tomorrow is going to be the best chance for Atlanta, but when we do our forecast video tomorrow, I have a much higher confidence on whether or not Atlanta will be at play for this risk tomorrow. And Nashville is another one where I've got some questions. I'm not sold on Nashville yet just because of the way the models are. It's just going to be observations that we see in the morning. So two major players are big question marks. So obviously you have to make sure you watch our video going into tomorrow so we can really try to nail that down for you guys. Again, it probably won't be at noon. It might be a little bit earlier than normal. So make sure you have those notifications set up so we can you don't miss that video going into tomorrow. Appalachians. Okay. Well, being from, I guess it's just that pronunciation. I'm from Connecticut, and they always told me Appalachians. Appalachians, the mountains here. The mountains and the Smoky Mountains and all that stuff. The Appalachian Mountains. That makes a big difference in terms of a system like this in the early season. Let's go Murfreesboro. Mount Pleasant again today? Probably not. I think the risk is really going to be kind of focused on here. Then again, if a storm does go and just keep going east and goes through Mount Pleasant for a second time, then hey, you know what? Some of you guys are already there working. Maybe you just keep it going at this point. All right. Okay. Appalachians. Yeah. Yes, that's our Connecticut accent. All right, guys. So I think with that, I'm going to kind of wrap things up here. If you're watching this video after the fact, feel free to put a comment, question, or concern down below, and we'll try to answer them through the remainder of this afternoon. Be sure to follow our posts. I'm sure you like our Facebook page if you're watching this here on Facebook, as most of you are. But if you haven't followed us yet, follow and hit see first so you pop up right at the top of your news feed. And I think you also get notifications just through Facebook for the video as well. So you can come in and watch our video every single day at 12 p.m. and occasionally at 5 and during continuing live coverage. You won't miss any of that if you miss our push notifications, because they'll pop up right at the top of your news feed on your phone or on your computer. Any further questions you may have about Hail Trace in general, give us a call at 855-334-4245 if you're interested in our products and what we have to offer, our services, etc. You can also email us at info@hailtrace.com. We'll be happy to help you guys, or go on our website, hailtrace.com. We have a direct messaging system on there as well. You all message on that on the lower right-hand corner, and if you have any questions, we can answer them there as well. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm sure I'll be back later on this afternoon when storms do fire, if they do fire, and we'll give you an update and hopefully some continuing coverage as storms move through the area of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And if not, then I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Depending on how today pans out, I might do another forecast again later, so keep an eye out for a notification for that. In the meantime, hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and if you're in the Dallas area, do your hail dances and hope we can get a big storm on this second chance Mother Nature is giving us today. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I'll see you later.